The place where you and I live today, this land was once 4 billion years ago completely covered with boiling burning lava with temperatures exceeding 5000 degrees Celsius. There was fire, heat and such dangerous toxic gases all around that breathing was impossible. These gases had covered the entire earth. There was no sunlight reaching there, nor there was any single drop of water. There was no sign of life because the temperature was so extreme that if any creature stepped on it, that would evaporate within seconds. But then suddenly something happened that caused the intensely hot earth to begin cooling down, and not just cool, it became the only place in the entire universe filled with billions of stars and planets where life became possible. So where did these trees, this water, humans and animals came from, and why very soon this earth may once again turn into a ball of fire? Let's find out in today's video. About 4.6 billion years ago from today, there was nothing in our space except a cloud made of dust and gases and a star. The entire space used to be completely empty and silent. Scientists named this cloud the Solar Nebula. This cloud was mainly composed of hydrogen and helium, which are among the most abundant elements in the universe. This cloud also contained some other elements like oxygen, carbon, nitrogen and silicon, from which most of the planets are made. This cloud had spread over 100 light years in the silence of space for millions of years, meaning it took light a full 100 years to travel from its starting point to its ending point. But one day, a massive explosion occurred in the nearby star, which scientists called a supernova explosion. This explosion was so intense that it caused all the gases and dust and the elements inside that cloud to start compressing rapidly. As a result, it began to collapse towards its center. During the compression, the cloud started spinning rapidly. As it continued to compress, it gradually transformed into a rotating disk. This process is called the Solar Nebula hypothesis. In the center of the rotating disk, a nuclear fission reaction began with a temperature of 15 million degrees. From this, our sun was formed. Inside it, energy, heat and light are produced through nuclear fission reactions. It alone holds 99.76% of the total mass of our solar system, while the remaining 0.14% consists of all the other planets, moons, asteroids and comets, etc. After the formation of our sun, due to its gravitational force, all the dust and gas particles around it start colliding and coming together. Because of these collisions, they became larger and their size continued to increase. These were named planetesimals by the scientists. These planetesimals were large rocks several kilometers long moving through space, which became larger through collisions with each other, and scientists began calling them protoplanets like our moon. In the beginning, in the solar system close to the sun, the temperature was so high that only metals and rocks could survive. For this reason, these 4 planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, which are the rocky planets, came into existence. At that time, all these planets had a hellish landscape. Fire, heat, falling asteroids and oceans of lava gave them a hellish appearance. In the early days, the surface of our earth was covered with molten hot lava, from which toxic gases continued to emerge. Many asteroids started colliding with the earth's surface so much that it seemed like it was raining asteroids with fire. However, these were the very asteroids which brought water to our earth. When these asteroids, which had formed from the solar cloud, fell on earth, they contained ice crystals which continued to bring water for our earth for thousands of years. The asteroids would crash on the earth and disintegrate, and the water inside them would evaporate and fall as rain. This process continued for millions of years. The earth started to cool down from the rain and the water brought by these asteroids. Its surface became solid and its size increased significantly. As the surface cooled, all the heavy metals like iron and nickel moved to the core of the earth. However, it took about 10 billion years for all the planets in the solar system to form, after which our solar system was completed. But there was still one more thing left to form on earth, and that was the magnetic field. Yes friends, it's the magnetic field that protects us from the harmful and deadly solar flares coming from the sun, which could cause diseases like cancer. Remember when I told you that the earth's surface cooled, all the heavy metals like iron and nickel moved to the core of the earth? Their presence at the center of the Earth and Earth's movement around the Sun created a magnetic field. Just like a magnet has a magnetic field around it, Earth's magnetic field extends about 65,000 miles into the space, and it took nearly 1.5 billion years to form around the Earth. Earth had already faced solar storms, but there was still one more catastrophic event to come that would give Earth a destructive appearance, and that was our moon. Yes, it was the moon that made it possible for us to be alive today and for the life to begin on Earth. According to scientists, when our solar system was forming, there was a planet about the size of Mars, which scientists named Theia. These planets moved away from its orbit and headed straight towards the Earth, and it collided with the Earth at a tremendous speed, and the explosion was so powerful that a large part of Earth broke off and was ejected into space, releasing energy equivalent to millions of TNT. However, this collision was necessary for the life to begin. When this collision occurred, the piece of Earth that was ejected into space didn't travel far. Instead, it began orbiting Earth because Earth's gravity didn't let it separate. Years passed and the dust and the rocks from the collision began to combine, eventually forming our moon. But this collision did not only create a moon, it also caused the Earth to tilt by 23.5 degrees, which gave us 4 different seasons every year, allowing us to see different fruits and vegetables. Understanding the beginning of life was not at all easy for all the scientists. No one could understand how life possibly began on a hot, lava-covered planet. However, after years of research, the first important evidence scientists found was microbial life. This life was very small and simple, and it began in the deep oceans, where it had time to evolve slowly. The first life on Earth began near the hot vents in the deep ocean. Their microorganisms started their evolutionary process due to high temperatures and the effects of chemical reactions. Around 3.8 billion years ago, these creatures began life on Earth, including simple organisms like bacteria and archaea. Since the amount of carbon dioxide in Earth's atmosphere was very high and the oxygen amounts was very low, cyanobacteria in the ocean started using sunlight and carbon dioxide to produce oxygen through photosynthesis. However, it took about 2.4 billion years for the amount of oxygen in our atmosphere to become stable. Life took its initial forms, but then it started to change through the process of evolution. As time passed, changes began to occur in life. The first multicellular organisms were born in Earth's ocean. All the forms of life on Earth have gone through an evolutionary process. In this evolution, while one type of life form appeared, there was also another interesting possibility: humans. Human evolution started very slowly with the first hominoids, then Homo erectus, and finally us, the Homo sapiens. Never has anyone even thought that a simple dust cloud traveling millions of years and make our life possible. Scientists even now, every year, are searching for thousands of planets where life could be possible, like on our own planet. But so far, they haven't found any such planet, and this is what makes Earth unique among the billions and trillions of stars and planets in the universe. If you like my documentary, I hope you'll enjoy my other documentaries too. We'll meet you in the next video.